Hello everyone, it's Greg Havener. I hope you're all doing well. I have a couple of things to talk about in regards to the production and some hiccups in the production of a video that I spoke of on my dev blog, and why it's not here on YouTube right now. Why that video is not here right now. Basically, to summarize why it's not on the channel: copyright issues. No, there was no human being involved in the. I can't even really call it a takedown of the video. There was no extraneous efforts put together by anybody to make this happen. It was just the nature of the system that's already been set in place by YouTube for who knows how long. It's basically the kind of system that YouTube has in place with the copyright robot that goes through footage that's been flagged by various copyright owners, and basically says, "Oh, okay, this footage is owned by so and so distribution company, so it's not available in X countries or vice versa." That kind of thing. And I'll be honest, it's a rookie mistake to make. It's something that, like little extraneous errors like that are things that I think more experienced YouTube content creators that do reviews and analytical things, similar to what I'm doing with media, they already know what they're getting into, and it's very, very rare for them to run into little issues like that whenever they put up a video, because they can't afford to set out a schedule and work on something that is not going to get any ad revenue as soon as they put it up. So it's worth mentioning again that I'm relatively inexperienced when it comes to this kind of thing, and it's not something that I'm trying to make money off of. A younger, more idealistic version of myself thought that was a possibility before I even came of age to legally be able to make revenue off of my content. I see that to be in a situation like that is going to take a very long amount of time, and honestly, it's a hobby at this point for me right now, and I don't mind that at all. I like doing this kind of thing. I like keeping my mind occupied. I'm a student of media and communications, digital media. This is something that probes my mind a little bit and just kind of keeps it active and keeps me involved in my field of study. I like talking about the nitty-gritty of creative media. That being said, my take on the legal aspect of putting this stuff together is pretty limited. I can't say that I've gone through a big giant book that basically gives you the fundamentals of copyright law in regards to putting stuff up on YouTube. I have a very vague understanding of that kind of thing, at least my own personal interpretation of it that could be totally wrong. And anything that I say in terms of copyright laws here in the U.S. may not apply to anyone else watching this video who's not from the U.S. And to put some things in context, basically, my take on it, at least up until now, and this is a learning experience for me. My take on it was, okay, so here in the U.S., we have a policy on the usage of created like media content for the purpose of critique, parody, analyzing, discussions, that kind of thing. We have the basic clause is summarized as a fair use agreement, and I'll pull up the basic definition of it here while I'm recording this on my computer. So it says come in here, and I'll leave a citation in the link. I'll leave a citation in the video description so you guys can get, know exactly what I'm talking about here. But it says here from Stanford University. Stanford University defines, in its most general sense, a fair use as copying of copyrighted material done for a limited and transformative purpose, such as to comment upon, criticize, or parody a copyrighted work. Such uses can be done without permission from the copyright owner. In other words, fair use is a defense against a claim of copyright infringement. And in all logical instances, what I did with Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn, specifically that series, in the video review, fell under fair use, because it's a critique, it's a discussion, it's a transformative use of the material. Furthermore, I'm not making any money off of it. The publishers of the series aren't losing any money as a result of it. Everything works out, right? Well, and again, my knowledge of the inner machinations of YouTube's policy in terms of putting up copyrighted content is fairly limited. But it seems to me that the copyright holders of Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn, Bandai, the Bandai company, they don't like anyone putting up any kind of footage in any kind of capacity up on YouTube of the show. And I understand the rationale behind that, because otherwise people could just take this work and then just put it up on YouTube, and then people could watch it for free, and then the people who put the anime together wouldn't get any revenue for their work in putting it together. And the problem with sites like YouTube in this capacity is that it's such a large blanket of stuff you would have to cover with the fair use agreement, is that it just seems easier to just put a little set of information in the copyright robot that basically says, oh, okay, this is footage from such and such copyright holder. What does the copyright holder want to do with the footage? This, okay. And it enacts the policy. Now, Bandai, obviously, is based in Japan. And I don't know how Japanese copyright law conflicts with American copyright law, if at all. I mean, I'm going to assume it does because I can't put up the video because Bandai doesn't want me to. Now, what I'm doing is technically completely illegal. Like, I'm not breaking any laws here, at least from my perspective. And if I'm overlooking something really, really critical here, then that's just, lack of information on my part. But as far as I'm aware, me putting together a review of a copyrighted work falls under fair use. And if I'm not making any money off of it, then I have every right to put something like that out on a free space for people to look at. But it's not that simple, apparently. And again, this is stuff that I learn as I put this stuff together, and it's important that I learn it because this is going to be, to a degree, this is going to be my job later on in my professional life. It's just something to contend with, something that I have to take into consideration when I put together this kind of content. This sort of review, analytical sort of content. And frankly, this little incident told me a couple of things. It's significantly dissuaded me from reviewing any kind of stuff that hasn't been produced here in the States. Because the definition of fair use that I cited from Stanford University, and again, I could be overlooking something here. This is just the information that's been presented to me, and I'm drawing a conclusion from it. The information that my definition of fair use, and Stanford's definition of fair use, and the American version a fair use. Basically says that what I did with Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn was completely legal. Well, Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn wasn't produced in the US. It's not owned by an American copyright holder. So, from my perspective, I can't really do anything to circumvent their policy on that. It's just something that average Joes like me sort of have to contend with. And again, the logistics of putting stuff up on YouTube is a new experience for me in this kind of capacity, and I'm learning new things every day. So don't expect me to not have hiccups like this from time to time, I guess. It's just something that I'll have to learn as I get more familiar with how this kind of thing works. But the point still stands. Anime, and I see people put up reviews of anime all the time on YouTube. But anime, it seems, is a very fickle thing to tackle because everybody who publishes it has a different idea of how they want the content to be distributed on the internet, and that's that is what it is. I don't know if the laws that apply here in the States are applicable to YouTube content creators in other countries, say Canada, various places in Europe, Germany, the UK, France. I don't know if I would have a different time. I don't know if I would if it would be different if I were producing it there, but I'm not. So I have to contend with the situation that I'm being dealt with right now. And in order to keep an audience, in order to stay relevant, in order to produce content for you guys that you like, I have to take these things into consideration. So no more anime. I guess is the way to put it. Because I don't know what various publishers, I don't know their stances on how they want the content to be distributed. I know at least what the American definition of fair use is. And if I put up something on YouTube and it still ends up getting taken down because it has footage from a particular movie or from a particular TV show, and it's, oh, well, you can't do that because then we'd be losing money. You know, that's why the copyright holders have put together that policy with YouTube in the first place. I can kind of groan about how copyright law doesn't make any goddamn sense and then just kind of move on with it because I'm not a lawyer. I don't want to be a lawyer. I take things, bare statements, and I just hope that I'm interpreting them. I just hope that I'm interpreting them correctly. So, there you go. So, if you still want to see the Mobile Suit Gundam review, what I did is I uploaded it to a impromptu Vimeo account. There's a link in the description of this video, that you guys can go see, and it's a video that you would find similar to the review I did of Noah Zero about a little over a month ago. And I think you guys would like it. Unfortunately, I don't think as many people are going to be able to see it because they're not going to go out of their way to really do that. That's just the nature of that's just statistics. If the video doesn't go straight up on the channel and appear in the subscription box, then there's going to be there's going to be a proportion of people who are just never going to see it. It is what it is. But I'm just gonna keep going at it. I have a couple different reviews in mind that I'm gonna put up over the course of July, if I can help it, and we'll just see where it goes from there. I'm gonna be taking a 2-week vacation with my family in July, but I'll still have time to write And who knows, I try to keep myself busy, so I'll probably blurb here and there on the dev blog and just kind of keep at it, chunk away at it a little bit by bit. But yeah, just I guess any further advice for you guys, just keep an eye on my Tumblr dev blog. I'll leave a link to that in the description as well. And just be patient. I keep telling you guys to be patient, and I appreciate how patient you guys have been. Again, this is a learning experience for me in many ways, and it's just a hobby. I don't plan on making something professional out of it until at least I have an audience in which I can get ad revenue from it. And then there's a lot of things that I'll have to take a lot more seriously if I do decide to do that. So I'm taking all that into consideration. But right now I'm just a college student who likes movies and TV shows and stuff like that, and I like to talk about it. And that's what I will always be. So I appreciate you guys going out of your way to listen to me ramble about the current situation of things, and I'm not going to give an opinion piece on copyright law. It is what it is. I can't really do much to change it. Just gotta work with it. So stay tuned, folks. I appreciate all the support I've been getting, and I'm looking forward to putting together some more content for you guys. Take care.